You may notice that I'm wearing a different tie than I was just a few moments ago when you were looking at me. The reason for that is this particular section, the video presentation this morning, was videotaped at a later time than the remainder of the presentation. The reason for that is that when we did the original taping, I did not know some of the information that I now know. This information is very important. It's very good news. And so therefore, we're doing a special segment that we're inserting into the tape at this point in time to make sure that you understand clearly what some of the good news that we have to tell you about. First of all, on the salary front, the Board of Trustees at their meeting on July 31st, year 2000, approved a salary increase for all employees. This is very important for you individually and for the district collectively. We understand that personnel are extremely important and that we must have a competitive salary structure for our personnel. Accordingly, the school board approved a $1,200 across-the-board raise for all teachers. And this is something that we know that you deserve, and we would like to do more. But let's make sure that we understand that this $1,200 raise across the board represents a tremendous effort on the part of the district. It's going to require a tax increase, and it's going to require a reduction in all non-personnel expenditures in order to be able to fund this $1,200 across the board increase. Now, let's make sure we understand a couple of other things as well. Our starting salary will be $31,500, which is slightly lower than what it really needs to be. We really need to get that salary up, and hopefully over the next year or two we'll be able to do that. But let's look at the other end of the spectrum. This year, over 260 teachers in this district will be making over $40,000. That represents over 35% of the teachers in this district will be making over $40,000 this next year. That's great news, and you deserve it. Also, about 30 teachers, and I'm talking about for 187 days of instruction, no supplements or no stipends, about 30 teachers will be making over $50,000. And that is extremely good news as well. Remember, Duncanville is one of the very, very few districts in the entire state, and especially here in this Metroplex, that does not have a top-end cap for our teachers. As a result, we're going to have some teachers making in the very high 50s just for 187 days of instruction. They deserve it, and I'm not concerned at all that we're able to pay that. I just want us to make sure that we get credit for it, that we are doing a very good job for our experienced teachers. And I think it's a credit to the district to have as many teachers as we do that are making over $40,000, because that indicates we have a high level of experience. Secondly, for all non-teaching personnel, we also gave a raise. For those paraprofessional people that are classified on a salary scale or on a salary pay grade, we gave a 3% of midpoint range. That would be like for secretaries and aides and clerks and such. Now, that does not mean 3% of your salary. That means 3% of the midpoint of your range. In some cases, that will be slightly more than 3% of your salary. In other cases, it'll be slightly less than 3% of your salary, but it's 3% of the midpoint. Now, for all auxiliary personnel, that would be people that are hourly employees, then they are getting a 3% raise. And that would be based upon their hourly rate. So this is very good news. Total, we're talking about over $877,000 for teachers and another almost $400,000 for all non-teaching personnel to be able to pass along these raises. That's a tremendous effort on the part of the board, and we're glad to do it, but I did want to make sure that you understand this very positive news. Secondly, right along with the salary, there's another bit of very positive news, and that is that the board on July 31st voted to pay $140 toward the insurance premium for every employee in the district, whether you're taking just the employee only or employee and spouse or employee family. We're going to pay $140 towards your insurance premium. The net result of this is, after we've gone through a great degree of negotiations with different insurance companies, we decided to go with Aetna because we believe that they have the strongest network. And after strong negotiations with them, we've been able to lower their rate structure and negotiate their rate structure such that, with us paying $140 towards your premiums this year, all individuals who are on the HMO, regardless if you're on the employee only or family, you will be having a rate decrease. Let me repeat that. If you're on the HMO policy, your rates will be going down. So coupled together with your raise, you're actually going to get more than a 3% midpoint raise or more than a $1,200 raise. Now, individuals that are on the PPO plan, your rates will go up slightly, but they're nothing like they were originally early in the summer before we had a chance to negotiate and before we put the additional money into the plan. So your rates will be going up slightly, but given the total context of the environment that we're dealing with insurance now, this is extremely good news. And let's remember one little thing that you need to keep in perspective. For each $10 per month that the district contributes to your premiums, that equates to about $95,000 of total expenditure. So the district this year put over $300,000 of more money into insurance premium. So when you look at the amount of money that's going into teacher raises, the amount of money that's going into raises for non-teaching personnel, and then the over $300,000 that's going into insurance premium, you come up with a figure of slightly over $1.5 million of new money that's going to into the pockets of employees this year. And in order to accomplish that, we're going to have to raise taxes about 3 cents. And as a result, also, we're having to reduce all non-personnel expenditures by over $550,000. That's a tremendous step on the part of the district to be able to squeeze that much money in order to be able to provide these benefits to you. But you deserve it, and we're glad to be able to do it. The final thing that I would like to talk to you about today is a surprise. And very few people know about this, and hopefully this will be a positive for you. We realize that classroom teachers work very hard, and we also realize that many times classroom teachers spend money out of their own pocket. Even though we have a liberal supply budget and you have access to that budget, there are times when you're planning your lessons and on the way to school you decide that you need to stop by Walmart or stop by the grocery store and buy something. And we realize that over the course of the year that you spend money out of your pocket. As a result of that, today, following this video, your principal should pass out to all classroom teachers and librarians. Now that's to who this goes, to all classroom teachers and librarians. You should get a check that would be slightly over $100. The check will be written for about $103, and we'll have to take Medicare out of that for those people that have moved into the district within the last 5 years. So you either get a check that's about $100 to a little over $100 up to $103, and that's for you as classroom teachers and librarians as a token of the district for us saying, we understand that you spend money out of your own pocket, and we want to do something as a token of our sincerity, of our appreciation to you for that. Now, another thing I'd like to say is we can't guarantee that we will do this again this next year. Because of your efforts, because of the efforts of the administrators in the district, we were able to reserve some money in our budget this year. We were able to hold our expenditures down, plus our tax collections came up a little bit higher, and our enrollment was up a little bit more than what we projected. So we have a little money that's left in the supply account this year, and this is what we're going to give this money to you for. I can't guarantee this in the future. So I don't want anyone to say, well, you did it last year and you got to do it next year. We're doing it this year because of your prudent stewardship of the funds. We have the money available, and you deserve it, and we want to give that to you. Now, I know some of you will take that and you'll buy a new pair of shoes. Some of you will take it and you'll go out to eat, and that's fine. Others of you will take it and actually buy school supplies, but that's fine. And either way you look at it, it represents $100 to you as a token of our understanding of the fact that you do spend money out of your own pocket. Also, if you save your receipts for your goods that you buy for school, you can credit that against your income tax and not have to pay income tax on that $100. No income tax will be taken out of that check, so you should get a $100 cash on the barrelhead check. The three things that I mentioned here today: $1,200 salary increase across the board for all teachers, and 3% raise at the midpoint for all paraprofessional, and 3% for all auxiliary personnel. The $140 contribution to your insurance, which is lowering the HMO premiums and keeping a very minimal increase for the PPO, and then $100 directly to the teachers and the librarians of the district for reimbursement for their out-of-pocket expenses. I think these things show to you that we're sincere about trying to do the best that we can for you. We know it's not everything that you would like, and it's not everything that you deserve, but right now it's the best that we can do. Thank you very much, and now we'll continue with the remainder of the video.